What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael Verspril, and for today's video I'm reviewing the Viltrox 28mm f1.8 prime lens for the Nikon Z camera bodies. Now full disclosure, they sent me this lens for free to test out and share with you guys, so without further ado, let's jump into the review. As we unbox this lens, you'll notice it comes with a protective carry pouch like many other Viltrox lenses, as well as a manual and warranty card. This full-frame lens is very light and compact, as seen here next to my Nikon 20mm 1.8 and the Nikon 24-70. The lens weighs in at less than 1 pound at approximately 12.9 ounces or 367 grams. It feels relatively robust with its all-metal body, however just be aware it's not weather sealed and the lens hood is made of plastic. As we take a closer look at the lens, it has a USB-C interface for firmware upgrades, and you can manually adjust the aperture ring or set it to auto. The lens takes a 55mm filter size and has an aperture range of f1.8 to f16. With a 9-blade diaphragm, it produces a decent bokeh that is more pleasing the closer you are to your subject and has a minimum focus distance of 14.6 inches or 37 centimeters. It does a decent job of isolating your subject from the background, however that will vary depending on the distance your subject is from the lens. The glass is a multi-layered nano coating which helps reduce ghosting and lens flares, however if you are shooting into the sun, it is still possible to get some lens flares. If you stop down the lens, you can create some decent sunbursts as well. One thing I really like is if you plan on using this lens for night photography, it works like other Nikon S lenses in which it will automatically focus to infinity when you turn the camera on. This comes in real handy at night if you struggle to focus on the stars. However, I still recommend zooming in onto your LCD screen to fine tune and double check your focus. You can also use a filter like Focus on Stars to help as well, which I will leave linked down below. When photographing the stars, I use my Nikon 20mm lens at f1.8 versus the Viltrox 28mm at f1.8, and the differences were negligible. Both lenses are decently sharp in the center of the frame, and as we drift towards the corners, the stars get a little softer with some visible coma and astigmatism. As we stop down the lens to f2.8, the corner stars become sharper and the coma is reduced. For this test, I'm pleasantly surprised that the Viltrox lens is almost as good as my Nikon 20mm f1.8. If you plan on photographing the Milky Way with this lens, it will draw you in much closer than an ultra-wide lens. This is great for a different perspective, however it can be challenging depending on how close and how large your foreground subject is. As we look at some additional sharpness tests on a brick wall, we can see that the barrel distortion is pretty minimal with some vignetting at f1.8. The vignetting starts to clear up at around f2.8 and beyond. I use my Nikon 24-70mm lens at 28 as a control to see how the sharpness compares. The Viltrox lens at f1.8 is just as sharp as my Nikon 24-70 at f2.8 as we scroll corner to corner. At 300% we are really pixel peeping here and the differences are negligible. I tested this against my Nikon 20mm 1.8 and had similar results with the 20mm Nikon lens being ever so slightly more sharp wide open. The autofocus on this lens is quiet and similar to other Viltrox lenses, which is okay for most people, but I probably wouldn't use it for sports or fast-moving subjects. As far as portraits, this lens is great if you're trying to incorporate more scenery around your subject. However, this wouldn't be my go-to portrait lens. Although if you do use this in DX crop mode, you can put some more distance between yourself and the subject at around 42mm. You could also use this lens for vlogging if you don't mind having a tighter crop than a 24mm lens. Now at the time of me filming this video, this lens retails for around $380, which is a great price compared to the Nikon 24mm 1.8 lens, which sells for around $1,000. So definitely a huge savings by going with the Viltrox, and you're really not sacrificing much image quality. They also sell this lens in a 24mm focal length as well. So if you don't want that awkward 28mm focal length, you always have the option to get to 24. And that's pretty much my main gripe about this lens. I much rather have a wider field of view, and that's my own bias because I prefer to shoot landscapes with a wider angle lens. Overall, this is a great price for this lens, so if you're interested in it, I'll leave a link down below. Thanks again to Viltrox for sending me this lens out to test out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care. Bye-bye.